Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is Breakfast Daily, and now we're about to have a conversation, and this conversation is a topic that speaks directly to African and Black creatives. This is about the journey of empowerment and connecting them to incredible opportunities. Of course, if you look around the globe, you will see that African and Black creatives, are continuously pushing and breaking barriers in different places, especially when it comes to our stories, our arts, and even our culture. And today we are joined by Nigel Atal-Mensah, who is the co-founder of Newcomer, and Kwame Koda, who is one of the best creatives that we have right now in the system. He's a photographer and director. Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
How are you?
Nice to be here. I'm good.
Okay, it's nice to have you here, and it's all about creatives and giving them opportunities. I actually love it when Africans are actually put on the map, when Africans are put out there and telling our stories through creative forms. Before we get into that conversation, can you tell us a little bit about Newcomer?
Yeah, for sure. So Newcomer is a social recruitment platform. Essentially, we help Black and African creatives all around the world connect to opportunities, showcase and host their first ever portfolios, and give them access to resources and funding. So Kwame is one of those people on Newcomer, but there are thousands of people on our platform. It's free and easy to sign up as well.
Right. So why do you think it was important to have a platform that will, help, empower African and Black creatives?
Yeah, I think it was really important in the sense that we had to find a way to put African creativity back on the map. A lot of existing platforms today barely center or focus on us, especially the millions or hundreds of millions of young people on the continent. So we thought, why not? We have been in those positions before, growing up in Ghana, trying to become photographers, do art and illustrations and design, and it was very, very difficult. So we said, for today's generation and the next, let's make that process easier. And we also know that global businesses also want to tap into that talent, and they need a platform to be able to do that. All
right, so it's actually nice to hear that you have also, been here before and you understand what it feels like. So
Absolutely.
What are some of the unique challenges that you saw that you're now trying to address when it comes to being a creative?
Yeah, I think the first thing is creators want to get paid.
Yes,
often,
very, very important.
Often they're told, oh, we'll help you with exposure, or we'll, do this non-monetary contribution, but that's the biggest thing. If creatives aren't getting paid, they can't establish a livelihood. So that's one important thing from us, for Newcomer. The second thing is creatives need a platform to show and express their work. They need a place where you can go, and if you meet a creative, you want to see their work, because if you want to work with them, you want to know what they can do. So having a portfolio they can show anywhere, anytime is the second most important thing. And the third most important thing is access to resources and opportunities. So resources being cameras, gear, equipment, software, and opportunities being jobs, internships, those kind of things. They need to know, if I come onto this platform, I can find those things, so I can go from here to there and become a professional in my industry.
Right. So Kwame, you are on the platform, and how long have you been on the platform?
I'd say it's been about 2-3 years now.
And what's the experience been?
It's been very positive. I've been able to reach like a new audience. I think it was even through that I was able to come up with this exhibition to sort of come closer to that kind of to the audience. Yeah.
Wow, you already had an exhibition?
Yeah. It's currently ongoing and ends tomorrow in
Where?
the UK. In the UK.
In the UK?
Yeah, London.
You are here and your work is in the UK.
Exactly.
And how does it feel, knowing that you are just here and we have this platform helping you put out your work there?
It feels good. I've always called myself a messenger, not just a photographer or an artist. So I believe using this kind of platform helps me to like share my message and then take the word out there. Yeah.
Right. Okay, now let's go back to Newcomer. What kind of creatives do we see on Newcomer? Or what kind of creative is Newcomer looking for?
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole range from photographers, directors like Kwame, to illustrators and graphic designers, web developers. We have a whole range of different types of creatives. Anything that you think you do that is artistic is very welcome on Newcomer. And we have people doing that, not just from here in Ghana, but at least 15 countries worldwide, across the continent, in the diaspora, and some parts that maybe you and I have never seen before as well.
Right, right. All right, so how does Newcomer actually connect these creatives to opportunities on a global scale?
Yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. We have a jobs board, which is on our platform. So if you sign up to the platform, you can check out the jobs board for any live opportunities. And for businesses, this is a way they can also tap into the talent. So for a business, if you're looking for a designer or someone to help you with your website or make a new logo, you can go into Newcomer, create a vacancy or list your vacancy, and then you'll start to have people apply that way as well.
Right, so apart from Kwame here, obviously, Kwame is a testament to it. Can you share some other success stories where African creative have actually benefited from the platform?
Yeah, of course. 2 or 3 weeks ago, we had another Black History Month exhibition.
Yeah.
This featured a very talented painter called Lee. Lee had been painting for 15 years in her room at home, messing up her whole, place. And she came across the opportunity to exhibit at this event that we were doing. And it was the first time she had had that chance. As soon as the people at the exhibition saw her work, everyone was interested. So for the first time ever, Lee had one of her paintings sold and bought, and really was a testament to the belief she had in herself, but also the belief that we had in her. And that's what we want to do. We want to give people a platform to showcase their talent, connect them to people that are interested in supporting them, whether it's buying your piece or hiring you or getting you to work on a certain project. That's what we're all about.
Right, right. So Kwame, when you heard about them for the first time, how did you feel? Were you like, what's this? What are you talking about?
No. I really felt great because most of the time, the platforms you use is Instagram, and it gets too crowded and you kind of get lost. But I felt like Newcomer was a bit more niche, and you could easily connect to other people and then create your own audience or build your own audience within that community. So I was very happy when I heard about them. And the current exhibition I've been doing is something this is like the 4th version of it.
Yeah.
So normally it's in
Is
Ghana.
it photography?
Yeah, it's photography. It's called Art and Mind.
Okay.
So it's basically how your mind relates to art and how it can be beneficial to your mental health. So this time I thought about taking it higher, taking it to a different country, making it more international. And I thought, why not collaborate with Newcomer? Yeah.
And it's been great.
It's been great, yeah. I think it was supposed to be just one day, but because of the success of it, I think we've been able to take it from one day. We're having it till tomorrow. So it was just supposed to be a day, but people really like this, so we had the opportunity to extend it.
Wow, wow. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, obviously you can hear everything you're saying about Newcomer. I mean, we can go on and on and on and on. And like he said, it's actually a platform dedicated to fostering opportunities for creatives. So let's check out this video that will, explain a little bit more, and then later we'll come back and continue the conversation. All right, welcome back. And that's just a video, an explanatory video of what Newcomer is all about. If you're a creative and you're watching us and you're wondering, how can I earn from my creativity? How can I get more opportunities from my creativity? How can the world see me from my creativity? All you need to do is go sign up. And I think it's totally free, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For creatives, you can sign up for free, create a free profile, start sharing your work, connecting with thousands of others around the world, and yeah, accessing opportunities.
Right. So what kind of collaborations does Newcomer facilitate?
We have a range. So like we did with Kwame, we do exhibitions. We've had situations where we brought people to do panel sessions at Google. We've done work with a whole bunch of companies that are super interested in creating opportunities specifically for talented creatives. So we have the exhibitions, the panels, the workshops. We did one with a Nigerian artist called Anthony Ezekwo in London once again, where he was showing us how he goes from his idea stage to illustration stage. We've done several. We did some in Kenya last year. We did some in South Africa. We sponsored some events in Nigeria. So there is a range. It really depends on which kind of opportunities the people in our community are looking for and which opportunities the brands and companies that we work with are looking to, support as well.
Right. So talking about opportunities, do you also look at mentorship opportunities? Because obviously when it comes to emerging artists, mentorship is a key factor, for emerging artists. Have you ever thought of that before?
Yeah, we started with thinking about how we would implement mentorships, but we wanted to do it properly and wanted to do it on the platform. So it's something that's in the works right now. We do facilitate maybe one-on-one mentorships as and when needed. But yeah, it's coming soon through the platform.
Right. So we often face systematic barriers, especially Africans. And now, how does Newcomer, coming to tackle those barriers? And also, you have been in the system for a while right now, especially with your platform, and you're not always here. You are out there. How do people actually relate to our art when they see our art?
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a challenge in terms of the number and the types of barriers that we face. Number one is simply prejudice against people who look like us, who come from the places that we come from. Sometimes the work or quality of work is seen as less than, when in reality it couldn't be further from the truth. We have some of the most talented people in the world that come from this continent, and our platform seeks to showcase that, making that access to those tools you need to showcase your work free, making sure that it is reputable, well-known platforms and brands that we're connecting with. We've done work with Google, we've done work with London School of Economics, done work with Getty Images, placing people from our community in those spaces. We literally did an event this week called Taking Up Space. Taking up space. So we're all about taking up space in places where we feel our work deserves to be seen, heard, acknowledged, and that's how we're addressing some of those barriers.
Yeah. So what's the reaction from the Western world to our work when they see some of our works? What's the reaction?
They love it. They absolutely love it. I haven't. Maybe it's because I'm biased, but when they see our work, like for instance, Kwame's exhibition, we had battled between how many people we can have at the event in London. As he said, it was only supposed to be for one day on the 22nd of this month. We had initially aimed for maybe 100, 150 people. We ran out of space on our guest list maybe in the first week or so. The last 2 weeks have been constantly battling with the location, Kwame and ourselves, to see how we can get more people, through the doors. And now they've extended it for a whole week. So they absolutely love it. They just don't know how to connect or find or discover the people that create the work, and that's the work that we're trying to do for them.
So for people like Kwame like this, and that you are actually putting out their work out there, how do they send you their work?
So it's going to Newcomer. We always put out call-outs or opportunities on the jobs board. If we're looking for designers, there'll be a call-out for designers. If we're looking for photographers or artists, there'll be a call-out. It's very easy. All you need to do is make sure you have a profile, you've added work to your portfolio so that we can see the kind of work that you produce. And then typically there'll be some screening questions just to get an idea of who you are, what you do, and why you want to be part of that project. And then we'll take things from there.
All right, so Kwame, how long have you been a photographer for?
This will be my 8th year. Your
8th year?
Yeah.
And would you say this is actually a great opportunity for you?
Yeah, it's actually a very big opportunity. And using newcomer platform to reach out to a new audience is something I would have found very difficult to do, because reaching out to other galleries, most of the time they want to work with people who are doing painting. So coming in with my photography and my graphic animation and going to newcomer, it wouldn't have been possible if newcomer wasn't there. Yeah.
Right.
I would have really struggled, yeah. And it would have been expensive.
It would have been expensive. Talking about expensive, funding. Funding. How do you get funding as a photographer?
Me personally, I save up, right? Because it's two things. It's either you're given the opportunity by other people to be a part of a show, or you create your own show. So what I try to do is, because I might not have all the funding, I try and do more collaborations with other people, and then we come together, and then we both win on our side. So I advise that if you don't necessarily have the funding to put together your own show, you should try and collaborate with people who have that platform.
The platform like this.
Exactly, like Newcomer.
All right. So does Newcomer actually help in cases of funding?
Yeah, we actually do. So we have this thing called the Newcomer Creative Fund, which is a fund where we've been distributing £100 to one creative every month. We've done that for almost 3 years now. We've helped people set up their...
So do you have beneficiaries here in Africa?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Almost all the beneficiaries are across Africa.
Right.
We started with fund recipients in Nigeria, in Ghana, in the UK. We've done funds to South Africa, Zimbabwe, Uganda, Kenya, all across the continent, and help people, you know, from simple things like pay for your Adobe subscription so you can keep using it, to start buying your equipment to start your podcast, or paying for the last bits of licensing for your film. A small amount relatively goes a long way, and with the way the exchange rates are looking to, it definitely makes a difference. So yeah, we have the Newcomer Fund.
Right now, you know, when it comes to creatives, one problem that creatives actually have is owning your work. How do you ensure that you protect the artists when it comes to, say, intellectual properties? Especially for the fact that some artists won't be there when you are going to put their work out there, and you're opening them to other international opportunities. How do you now protect the artist's work and say, okay, you know what, you still have 100% ownership when it comes to this. Nobody's going to take it away from you. Yeah,
I think we were very careful in drawing up our terms and conditions. So anyone that signs up to the platform still absolutely owns their work. They're just granting us the rights to use it for promoting or sharing with these potential collaborators to help them, the artists, get more opportunities. And that way it makes the process a lot more streamlined.
How many creatives do you have on your platform?
So we have close to 14,000 creatives on the platform, and across
our
14,000. Yeah.
14,000.
Yeah, and across the world it's almost close to 40,000 as well. So across our social media platforms, we have a WhatsApp group as well, which has quite a few people, also global, and then the platform itself. So yeah, there's a lot of people in our
So if you say you have about 14 creatives on your platform, one would wonder, so when will it get to my turn? So how do you actually choose, like, what's hot? Which creatives' work needs to go out there?
Yeah, it's a combination of different factors, really. One of which is seeing who is most active. People who are constantly sharing their work, sharing their process, really engaging with the community is one thing that at least puts them on our radar. The second thing is through the strength of their applications to some of these call-outs that we put out. Some people will put in more effort than others, and that makes a difference. The third factor is really from the other businesses or brands who are looking, or agencies, for instance, who are looking for talent from the platform. In certain instances, we are just a platform or bridge between our community and those brands, and the brands will have the final say in terms of who gets picked. But there's a range.
So that means you are just, so basically you are the platform, the agency is watching, people, different people are trying to, you know, see who I want and whose work I'm interested in. Oh, so that means you don't even do the choosing. You just do the bridge.
Exactly,
You're the bridge.
exactly.
You're the
That's
bridge,
that's
okay.
how it is. Yeah.
You're the connector.
Exactly.
Ah, and that's nice that you got noticed. So how did you feel when you got the news that, okay, you know what? They like your work. Your work is going to be exhibited.
Yeah, for me, I always try to create a unique identity for myself. So I use a lot of orange. I think even my glasses is orange.
Yeah.
So that's one way I use.
And the Stoneboy picture is orange.
Exactly. That's so that's one way I used to stand out. So I advise people to always try and create a unique identity for yourself, and that's the best way you can get noticed from any corner. And I intentionally use the sun because wherever you are, you feel the sun, you see the sun. So.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So when you signed up your profile, you wrote about yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, tell us the process. You have experienced it firsthand. He's the
Yeah.
platform, so he can't tell us, but you are the user. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So we start from the basics. I mean your display photo, your name, and then what you're about. Me, I have a standard line that I use. I'm a creative director and a photographer, currently creating visual content for both local and international brands. As simple as that. And then maybe events you've been in, works you've done, you try and pull everything together and then have it on the platform. So I have my website, I have interviews, I have other platforms that I also have my work on. So my Instagram, my Twitter, and all of that. And then the projects too as well. Yeah.
So how important is social media to your work?
Social media is how I eat. That's how I put food on the table. And then aside living in my area where I only have like the people around me, using social media helps me to like connect to a way wider audience. And it was through social media that I even got to find out about Newcomer and also spread my work out there. So.
Oh, so you found out about them through social media.
Exactly.
Nobody even told you about them.
No, I found them on social media. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And you also mentioned that you actually put out your, what do you call it? Website. How
Exactly.
important is having a website to a creative?
I mean, you can't only have Instagram and you can't only have Twitter. Some of the social media platforms are a bit limiting.
Yeah.
Because you can't post all the work on your page.
Definitely.
Maybe you work on one project and then you have about 5 different pictures. You can your
Spread
page
them around.
Exactly. So Newcomer platform helps you to be able to structure your project from beginning to the end. So I think it's good to have that platform as well to also show your work in a different way too as well. So, yeah.
Right. So, do you think the numbers coming from Ghana are okay, or you
I think they could be
can
better.
be more?
Yeah, I think they could be better. Earlier on this year, actually, Nigeria surpassed Ghana in terms of our top users. So we have a big newcomer family in Nigeria. But yeah, I think our top 5 countries right now: Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and the UK as well.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
So what trends do you see emerging in the creative industry?
I think AI is one that we can't run away from. People are using AI to create movies, create all sorts of things that you can't even imagine.
I saw an AI fashion show and I was like blown away.
Yeah.
Like, and the guy's not even a fashion designer.
There you go.
And I was blown away, and
Yeah.
they did a whole documentary about him. So are you seeing any AI users on the platform?
Yeah, absolutely. There are people who have created short films with AI who they simply had an idea. They didn't maybe have a budget or a team to create an actual production. So using the software, they were able to do that. Beyond AI, we're definitely seeing a lot more people try to reclaim their own Africanness, their own sense of self through their creativity. So a lot of people creating films, creating photo series that are centered around people from the continent, not just Ghana, as I said, Nigeria, South
Right.
Africa, Kenya, all around the world. People just kind of realizing that there's no problem or issue being black or being from the continent. You in fact need to celebrate it because that's how, you know, you're different. That's how you stand out, and that's what makes you unique. So
Right.
those things, yeah.
Okay, so before we continue, why do you differentiate black from African? Why are we not all black?
Yeah.
Or why,
Yeah.
Well, I know we can't be all African, but why don't you just say all of us are black?
Yeah, I think from our perspective, one thing we try to lead with is our platform being centered on Africans to begin with. because many other platforms, they might just say black as a blanket term.
Right.
And then when the opportunity, exactly, when the opportunities come, they go straight to America or straight to the UK or maybe even France before anyone thinks about Accra or Ghana or Nairobi or Kenya.
Right.
So we try to center being African, coming from the continent, as an important pillar of our platform so that people on the continent know that they're celebrated and supported. And in reality, some people don't see any difference, as you said, between black and African. I don't think
understand, but I understand where you're coming from. We can all say we are black, but you know, sometimes there are biases. Some people don't want to really relate with the Africans. But yeah, thank you so much. Thank you. I think this is a very great platform, and thank you for bringing it here. And if you're a creative out there, you're sitting at home, you don't know what to do with your life, you're just wasting your talent. Hey, this is the opportunity. All you need to do is just head to their website and then sign up, all right? And then I also want to know, what's the long-term vision for Newcomer in terms of empowering African and Black creatives?
Yeah, I think long-term, we definitely see Newcomer as being, as we said, that bridge between talent and opportunity around the world. We want people to know that if you're anywhere in the world and you need a great designer, a great photographer, go to Newcomer. Right. And we also want those talented people to know that if they want any, you know, opportunities, whether it's resources, funding, jobs, you can sign up, create a profile, start sharing your work and access those opportunities.
All right, so we have a question from a viewer. Can Nigel speak to musicians and opportunities that, say, a producer, rapper, a singer, or engineer could access through Newcomer? Yes,
absolutely. We've built the platform in such a way where you can actually embed your music, whether it's from Spotify, Apple Music, SoundCloud, Boomplay, any platform that gives you an embed code. You can put that into a project on Newcomer. It plays live within your portfolio. You don't need to send people anywhere else. And we actually have some people using the platform for their electronic press kits.
Right.
So if you're a producer, a musician, anyone who works in that space, the platform is totally for you.
Right. How can organizations or individuals that want to support African and Black creatives actually reach out to you?
Yeah, we have a contact us form on our website. So if you have any inquiries, any questions, please feel free.
Everything on the website?
Everything is on the website, newcomer.com.
Newcomer.com,
yes.
Newcomer.com. And also, before I let you go, Koda, what trends do you see in photography right now?
Currently, I'd say it's color work. I see a lot of color work. I see there's this one particular guy, Prince Jesse. He also plays along. He also plays a lot with colors.
A lot of saturated colors.
And I believe that's because of how our communities are and how the sun shines different
it's
in
all
Africa.
About the sun for you people. Yeah, because you talked about the sun, and for him too, it's all about the sun and giving us very dark skin and all that.
Yeah, I believe, you see, if you want to throw light on something dark, you have to put light on it. But I feel like if you want to throw light on something black, you have to use the sun, because when you go to the UK, right, there are a lot of low saturation there. You look different when you take a picture in the UK. And you look I think you look much more beautiful when you take a picture in Africa.
Really? Some people think it's the opposite. Some people talk about the blue skies.
Nah, I mean, I don't even know how to say it, but if you take a look at my works, I use a lot of warm colors. It makes the brown skin look stupid.
I get it, yeah.
You feel like you can almost taste it.
Yeah, so your style is the warm colors.
I feel that's the beauty of being black. I feel like that's the beauty of having a dark skin. So, yeah, that's one trend that I see happening. And people are embracing African culture. I see a lot of, some works look like, it's basically juju.
Yeah,
like you see
Africanness.
Africanness, in there. So
our tradition, our culture.
Exactly, and I'm really loving it, and I'm trying to tap more into that.
Right.
Yeah, because that's our identity. I don't want us to get lost in the international market.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that's nice. So for parents that have probably underage kids, how do they sign up? So do they sign as the guardian, or how? How does it work? I'm talking because, like, I have a kid that's not yet 18 or something like that, but obviously there's talent. So how does the kid now
Yeah, I mean, if you have legal guardianship, you can absolutely sign up. We have an age limit, which is you have to be at least 16 to use the platform, just because there is all sorts of work being shown and shared on the platform, which we of course try and filter, but there's also a thin line between filtering and moderating. Exactly. So feel free to create a profile for your child. You can share their work, you can create projects. We have tutorials on YouTube, on different platforms that we can share to make that process easier for you as well.
Right. Thank you so much. It was really nice having you guys on this show. I mean, this conversation has been so great and eye-opening. So it's for everybody, every creative in Africa. It can be any age, right? Yeah. From 16, basically.
Yeah, 16 to whichever. Yeah, just as long as you're creating, you can sign up.
Right.
As long as you're a newcomer.
Yeah.
Everybody's a newcomer.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we've been speaking to Nigel Atta-Mensah, who's the co-founder of Newcomer, and Kwame Koda, who is a talented photographer and director. And of course, they're speaking directly to you. If you're a creative out there, you're a model, you're good in speaking, say a podcast, a photographer, a videographer, a director, a painter, anything creative, and you feel that you need opportunities, I think you need to go to newcomer.com and then sign up. Signing up is absolutely free. Go out there and upload your work. Who knows? You might just be the next person that the world is looking out for.